Well, how do? Been a while since the last video. Back again. A little bit of Liverpool transfer news since I haven't really spoken about Liverpool. Really, there hasn't been much to speak about because we've been moving like ninjas in the transfer market. But even then, ninjas need to come out and strike at some point out of nowhere. But we haven't really seen anything of the kind, at least from what I've been paying attention to. The most recent thing being Anthony Gordon being touted by Liverpool as a potential buy from Newcastle United to go on that left wing. Of course, that depends on what happens with Luis Diaz, whether he's going to stay or go. Talks of him going to Barcelona or something. We know what happened in the previous season. I did a video about that as well, where his old man was talking to Spanish media, and they were basically saying, like, you know, there were other clubs there, but they weren't really in for him, so he went to Liverpool, and basically using like a stepping stone to another club. And if that is to be believed, then Liverpool are just the next stop along his ultimate destination, being Barcelona, Real Madrid, wherever, which I don't even know if he's of that level, but nonetheless, probably not going to be seeing him at Liverpool for the rest of his career. That's just, as Hassan would say, that is the reality of the situation, in my very non-Arab accent. But in any case, let's have a look here. So there's a tweet here from Anything Liverpool, and it says, do Liverpool fans really want us to replace Luis Diaz with Anthony Gordon? Now, it's a couple of clips here. It's him dribbling past the Paraguay players, and whilst he did do a good dribble, there's nothing else really to it. Like, it was a couple of dribbles, and, you know, dribble, nothing. Dribble, nothing. And for a left winger, for Liverpool, when we've been blessed, we've been so well positioned with Sadio Mane for many seasons, scoring last-minute goals, big goals, winning goals, getting assists, running a mark on that left wing, end product. That's the one thing we got from Sadio Mane, end product. He was a great dribbler, he was quick, he was a goal scorer. Luis Diaz, not so much. Not to say I hate Luis Diaz or want him to go, but if there's a better option out there, why not explore those possibilities? So, goes to saying, the question here, do Liverpool fans really want us to replace Luis Diaz with Anthony Gordon? And the comments are actually surprising to me. Many say yes. Some say we watch football. He's dribbling farmers. If we're looking for a left wing, Cody Gakpo is right there, which I agree. As a left forward, if Nunez isn't going to be used on that left wing, and there is rumours that apparently Mourinho and Fenerbahce are looking at Darwin Nunez. I don't know how concrete that is. I don't think would be selling him on the cheap, but nonetheless, that's just a rumour at the moment. But Cody Gakpo for me is a shout. I mean, he's been playing well at the Euros in that forward position, so I don't see why that would be a wild shout. There it is here. His agent and dad flirt with other clubs, so yeah, wouldn't mind if he's replaced. This comment here, I would love for Lucho to stay, but we still have to replace him if he wants to leave. The benefits of having Gordon, that being Anthony Gordon, is that he's a direct as a footballer, which we really need more of. We have too many players who slows down the tempo, take far too many touches on the ball. I actually don't disagree with that. I think that's a fair shout. Some people prefer Diaz. That's fine. That's fine. Prefer Diaz. That's cool. The stats here. So 67 appearances. Diaz has 16 goals and 10 assists. In 116 appearances, Gordon has 19 goals and 13 assists. Now, while that may be a bit of an increase, look at the appearances, the amount of games played. So you may look at that and say, well, the numbers are better, but how is he playing? Could Gordon be more effective on a left wing where he's got players in midfield to help him along the way? It doesn't have bad players at Newcastle. I've got Guimaraes, Almiron has his moments. You've also got, what's the other fella's name? Bloody hell, plays for Newcastle. Name escapes me at the moment. Anyways, like, he's got some players there, but with better players around him, maybe he may perform better. Just a potential question there. And another fair comment here. I don't particularly want Diaz to leave, but there are lingering doubts about his end product. I love his commitment and determination. At times he's very skillful, but he just doesn't provide what matters most, goals and assists. And if we just look up here, if I didn't, still recording. If we just look at the quote tweets here, I always look at the quote tweets to see what people are saying. And it says here, Diaz is a wonderful footballer with amazing technique, but the stats don't lie. It depends what you prefer, I guess. Talk about some goals and assists, lads, which is true. I already see expected goals 0.20. What was this in for Colombia? I mean, this is Colombia we're talking about. You can't really, you know, whatever. And well, there was a comment in there saying, I'd rather have a guy with no skills but has end product than a guy with skills but no end product. Yeah, 100%. Well, you could probably argue that's Haaland for Man City, you know, scoring goals, just no real skill, doesn't dribble, anything like that, but direct, gets your goal, guaranteed. Just saying. This is a comment here. Imagine the audacity to use that clip versus Rodri and Walker as if he didn't miss like 2 sitters and the chance to create a 1v1 in that same game. Yeah, Luis Diaz is, in hindsight, if I didn't mention it at the time, probably the reason why we did not win that game. He had 2 chances, fluffed them both, and could have had an opening for somebody else, but was not quick enough. And of course, there was an incident with the Gakpo where none of them wanted to shoot. I think it was Diaz and Gakpo or somebody. I know Gakpo was involved. They just didn't want to take a shot. Evidently, nothing happened of it. So that's a very valid point there. Replace what happened to healthy competition. No skill comp or bullshit will justify the fact that while Diaz is always a threat, he's not prolific enough. 8 goals and 5 assists in the league last season. Missing big chances is not Liverpool standard. Mane yet to be replaced. That's the key thing here. But then again, can you actually replace a player like Mane? If Salah goes, you can replace a player like Salah who dribbles and gets in behind the defense and gets you an assist here and there. But the goals is what you're going to miss. And the goals is what we miss with Sadio Mane. And we've all said it as well. I'll probably just leave it there because I don't actually know what's happening with the Anthony Gordon situation. I just wanted to pinpoint that particular thing because it's interesting to see different Liverpool fans, although it is on Twitter, although it is not the most, best places to get your footballing opinions sometimes, still it's interesting to see the mix of what people are looking at the moment in terms of whether they want to stick with Diaz or get somebody else. Same with Darwin Nunez. Did they want to stick with Nunez because the guy's killing it for Uruguay? And I said when he plays for Liverpool next season, if he's still here, put a Uruguay jersey on underneath and the Liverpool jersey on top, maybe he might do something. But again, it depends on how you play to him, if you play to his strengths, if he's going to be integrated, maybe a new season, new manager, who knows, things can change there. But for Diaz, the Mane situation, the comparisons is a bit unfair. You can't compare him to Mane because he's nowhere near Mane. But when Mane left, we did miss a lot of goals and a lot of games where we probably could have won games. We didn't because we didn't have someone like a Sadio Mane on that left wing, which is where, unfortunately, Luis Diaz plays and he has his personal issues and things like that. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter because if you're not scoring goals or getting the assist that you're supposed to be getting, then what's the point of you being good on the eye and dribbling, like the eye test and all that sort of stuff? It's just nothing to it. So we'll see what happens. Newcastle did say I think they wanted Kwanzaa in return for Gordon. No, they're definitely not. Not going to happen. Cash plus Kwanzaa, whatever it is, no chance. Gomez even, I'd rather keep Gomez. He's a utility player. I mean, if Diaz wants to go to Newcastle in a swap deal, by all means, I'm taking that. Go for it. I'm there I will take that. But that's just my opinion. You let me know your thoughts down below on Luis Diaz. And now let's move over to the main course, being England's lucky win against Slovakia in the morning. And look, there ain't much to be said about this really, because when you deep it down, it's just England being England once again and coming up clutch again, which some fans are obviously, you're there, you're going to be celebrating in the heat of the moment. I've seen the celebrations, I've seen the scenes, the pubs, the clubs, the stadiums, the beer gardens, and all these other places where everyone just erupts. I don't think anything will come close to when Sturridge scored the winner. Was it the 2018 World Cup or the 2016 Euros? I forget what it was, but there was one game where I think it was Sturridge for some reason. He came on and he scored like late in the game, and everyone uses it as the green screen in the background and reacting to stupid things like Game of Thrones or something when the Game of Thrones pops up and everyone cheers and celebrates. I don't think anything will beat that. But Bellingham's goal to make it 1-1, the overhead kick, that was beauty. We'll get on Bellingham in a second, but quickly first, this England squad. Now, this is according to FootMob, by the way. I don't know why I use FootMob. I just like FootMob. I just like the way it looks and the way its interface is. I just like it. So whatever. Bellingham gets an 8.1. Rice gets an 8.3. Mainu gets a 7.4. Mainu just doing the stuff he's meant to be doing, just passing and doing the normal stuff. You're there, just recycle the ball, play it along, whatever, blah, blah, keep the thing moving on. Cool. Rice is the other player in the midfield that's got to be doing much. 2 shots, hit the post, no expected goals on target. Obviously, unfortunately, a shot that hits the post or the crossbar is not considered on target because it's on the frame, not in the path of the goal. So if a keeper saves it and it's going inside the post on target, this one isn't, unfortunately. But long balls, no real accurate crosses, couple of tackles won. I mean, recovering the ball, winning duels and stuff like that, all good and well. Maybe just running around all over the place doing what he needs to do. But he played 120 minutes, so hopefully he recovers for the next game, which they will be playing Switzerland, since Switzerland beat the Italians. So the Swiss cheese beat the shit out of the mozzarella sticks. And Bellingham is a key figure in all this because he scored, obviously, the equaliser 94th minute, whatever it was. But apart from that, didn't really do much the whole game, but he still gets himself an 8.1 because he scores the goal, and Kane scored the goal as well. I don't know why he gets given an 8.1, but even I saw a report the other day that said Kai Havertz is like FIFA in real life. Does nothing the whole game, gets himself one goal, and he gets like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. It's like when you've played FIFA career and you come on the pitch and you start at like a 6.0 and you've done nothing in that game, but you're in the right position as a striker. The ball comes across and you tap it in and you get the winning goal and you get like a 9.0 all of a sudden out of nowhere just for that one opportunity. That's what it reminded me of. So that's Bellingham. That is Bellingham. Now, there's been a lot said about Jude Bellingham, whether he is actually that good, whether he's all PR, whether it's just people propping him up because he plays for Real Madrid and things like that. But even he has come out and said, sometimes it feels like there's a pile on from the fans. Moments like tonight throw it back at some people. And he says he's reacting on the 2-1 win against Slovakia. Of course, Harry Kane as well scored in the period of extra time. It's about time Harry Kane did something in this game. It literally seems to be just Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham saving England when they really are at it. And we'll get to the game itself. We're going to look at the football terrace. There was a bit of not a confrontation, but there was a bit of a conversation, has to be said. So I don't really want to go into what he said, and not really fussed on that. It's just the comments. I want to look into the comments because Jude Bellingham is, Ballon d'Or Jude and, La Liga Player of the Season and all that sort of stuff. Coming in, taking Zidane's classic number 5 jersey and running amok and doing all bits of madness and coming in clutch and everything else in between. But when you're playing for England against Slovakia, can you really come in clutch? I mean, it's almost like you've escaped, like the Great Escape, with Steve McQueen. And it seems to be the case for England. But look at some of these comments here. Some of these comments are ruthless as fuck. Exact reason why... Chelsea fan. Don't read too much into it, but... Exact reason why England fans aren't as buzzing for tournament football compared to the past. Get outplayed for large parts of the game. Go 80 plus minutes without a shot on target. Then the arrogance comes out. It's like humbling is needed. And yes, indeed. I forgot to mention the stats. Where are we here on the commentary? Stats. Here we go. Here, check this out. 16 shots, 2 on target the whole game for England. 2 on target with 2 goals. That was it. Was that literally the only 2 shots? 2 shots the whole game. Slovakia had more shots on target. This is Slovakia. Now, with all due respect, this is not a massive superpower. This isn't a top 5 footballing nation in the world, let alone in Europe. So I think there is something to be said here when England are struggling against a Slovakia team who scored first after ripping him to shreds time and time and time again. Kyle Walker got absolutely minced in that first half. The left wing on the second half with Trippier absolutely minced for the goal as well. Gay had to come in and do a couple of blocks. I noticed watching the extended highlights. I don't have 120 minutes to watch in the day. I just look at the highlights and that'll do me. But apart from that, nothing else really going. Pickford trying to be Neuer when he's not. Just calm yourself down, lad. Just listen to some more Ultra Beat. You'll be sweet. All good. And that was how that went there. So 95th minute and then 91st minute, obviously, once the extra time kicked on. And then they defended again. But look at this. Expected goals. Slovakia had a 2.15 expected goals over England's 1.52. That is embarrassing. Embarrassing. But we'll get to the football. We'll get to the game. Let's finish this first. Dr. Doolittle. Interesting name here. Not much of a following, but doesn't matter. I hate this attitude from the England team. You scored an incredibly fluky couple of goals after one of the worst performances ever. Personally, for Bellingham and as a team, to come out like this is just pathetic. Great goal and moment, but the overall performance was poor and needs to improve against the Swiss 100%. Man, if they play like this against Switzerland, who absolutely tore Italy to shreds, they made Italians Swiss cheese, yeah? They made the Italians Swiss cheese, just slicing them left, right, and center. Italians had absolutely nothing to counter the Swiss. It says, steady cowboy in the game was, and his tournament have been utterly woeful. Fix up the performances as your opposition won't be all meh teams. Humble yourself. First shot on target was in the 94th minute. Criticism is justified. Obviously, winning triumphs everything, but people see the unbalance on the side. Southgate is garbage. Kane is useless. Foden is useless. As soon as Palmer comes on, he's one of the best players on the pitch. Let me guess, Chelsea fan? Doesn't specify. Don't know, was Palmer best player on the pitch? I don't know. Foden, yeah, Palmer. Palmer didn't even get himself a good rating, as much as ratings go. But sure, whatever you say, Chief. England are performing horribly, but we can't say it was because it might hurt players earning $1 million on monthly feelings. Yeah, he's getting absolutely shredded in the comments here. What are the quote tweets saying? Surely there's some gold in here. Shut the fuck up. You played shite for 95 minutes, not sometimes. This whole tournament. Fuck off, mate. This was an Iceland-level shit performance. Pulled a piece of magic out in the 95th minute and thinks it undoes it all. This siege mentality against their own fans is ridiculous approach to the tournament when they're playing so badly. Fuck, these people do not give a shit. Footballers are so entitled to act like fans are not allowed to criticize you at all. We support the team, not you, Jude. I actually do second that. I have said no one is above criticism. Everyone is able to be criticized. Did in the last video talking about Kevin De Bruyne booing his own fans, and just because you've done well for your nation or you've done what you've done for your clubs and everything else sympathy, it doesn't mean that people are just going to, sniff your farts in when you let one rip. Yeah, they're going to say, bruv, that shit stinks when it's justified. And in this moment, it is justified. Bellingham let a cracking fart in the 95th minute and everyone sniffed it in. At first, I thought, this is fantastic. But then when it settled in, they thought, actually, no, you know what? That stinks. How about you don't do that again, yeah? As bad as an analogy that is. Like he's better at overhead kicks than reading the room. I mean, this all could be pretty much just PR. It could be PR teachings just to tell them what they should be saying, what they should be doing. Obviously, he's not going to come in and say, yeah, we're absolute dog shit and we were pretty poor and everything we did didn't go to plan until a lucky chance late in the game. And after that, I just managed to, just turn around, readjust myself quickly, which is a skill. You can't plan for that stuff. Like the ball comes at you, just react, you just whoop, turn around, bang, hope for the best. And that's what he did. Evidently, it went in for him and popped the celebration with Harry Kane for some reason. I don't know why. But, sometimes, and that's what we say, clutch players, clutch performances. But what have you done for the rest of the game? Like if England were that great, if they had 10 shots on target and Slovakia were defending for their lives and bodies on the line and everything else in between, and then he popped up and in the end you would say, you know what, that's justified. That's a justified goal, fair play. They knocked, they huffed and they puffed and they finally blew the house down and they got what they wanted. But that's not how it happened now, did it? So to the analysis of the game. This is from the Football Terrace clips. I was about to say Crips. This is not South Central LA. There are no Bloods or Crips here. Anyways, enough waffling on. Let's hear. We're going to hear Mo. We've got a little bit of Egal, and then Brandon comes in as well. So I've sped this up to 1.25. Link posted in the description down below, of course. Let's have a listen here.
None of these for England don't deserve to go through. They played atrocious. They were absolutely horrendous. The coach, the players, and it's not only about the system anymore. It's the players the system did not make Rice play long ball. The system did not make Saka overhit his crosses. The system did not make Phil Foden hoof the ball.
You froze.
Play terrible crosses. And
yeah, he's back.
Absolutely. These players do not deserve to go through if it wasn't for a clutch moment at the end by Jude Bellingham, who, by the way, had an atrocious and a horrendous game. None of these players are played good. The only player that, for me, that is saved today is Kobe Mainoo. And by the way, Kobe Mainoo was not amazing, by the way. But Kobe Mainoo just played normal football, played good football. You know what I mean? Kobe Mainoo was not outstanding, but he was the only guy playing up to the bar. Everyone else was sub-bar. Everyone else waiting until the 95th minute to bring a striker when you needed to play another striker from the beginning because Harry Kane could not be in the box. This is simply...
They brought Ivan Toney on in the last minute of regular time. And it was having to go at Southgate. Come on, bro. Harry Kane done nothing for you that whole game, and he brings on... It wasn't for Harry Kane, sorry, because he got the assist, but he brings him on later on, and it's like, you couldn't have brought him on earlier? Like, why are you bringing him on with a minute to go? What is Ivan Toney going to do for you in a minute? I mean, obviously, there's, the game is on, and you've got, injury time and stuff like that, but, bruh, that's not what you should be doing, man.
Simple mistake they could have done. Kyle Walker was cooked in the beginning of the game. People said Trent or not Trent. That wasn't that. It was nobody was covering that area. I actually think Southgate is lucky that England in the second round. It's a clutch moment by a long throw. England do not deserve to. I feel bad for Slovakia. I feel bad for them. England played atrocious football today. Nobody connected any passes. Every single thing was overhit or underhit. The touches were not great. And to be honest, I thought, why not give the other guys a chance? Why did he keep Foden that long? Why did he keep Saka that long? By the way, this Saka moved to a left back. This guy listened to Ian Wright. Because by the way, when he moved Saka to the left back, everything was going to the right side until 10 minutes later when it went to Saka. Everything was going to the right. Why did you move Saka to the left back if all the play was going to happen to Cole Palmer then? What is the point? I actually think, to be honest with you, England were lucky to go through, and another lifeline for Southgate. And then the media's going to come in. He made subs and this and that. Bro, it was an atrocious performance by every single player, bar Kobe Meno, who was just doing the minimum of a football player. Connect your passes, show up, pass the ball forward when it needs, and pass the ball back when it needs. Everyone else was garbage. That's my.
I mean, is he wrong though? Is Mo wrong? I mean, the ratings will tell you a different story, but really, if you deep it, let's have a look at Kyle Walker. What happened here? Obviously, no goals, no assists, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Defense, 1 block, 1 clearance, 1 interception, 4 defensive actions, 6 recoveries, dribble past once, 0 for 1 tackles. That's pretty bad. No aerial duels, 1. 3 out of 5 ground duels. Was fouled once, no fouls committed. 34 years old, playing right back. Stones, Gahey was decent. Trippier, I mean, he gets a 7.4. Created 4 chances, apparently. It's not bad. But that's just like a cross in the box or whatever. Some crosses. No tackles, 1. Ground duels, that sort of stuff. Recoveries, 5. So again, defensively, whatever. Manu, what was Mano at? 1 chance created. He had the volley. It was in the first half, or just over the top, just outside footer. Looked like it was decently hit, but just kept on going up. 1 dribble, no crosses, 1 long ball. Defensively was so-so. Jules 1, cool. So, 65 out of 68. So he's passing, decent, doing what he's doing. So, yeah, average, you'd say, just doing what he needs to do. Foden, what's his? 1 shot, 2 chances created, 65 touches, 2 in the ops box, 3 pass into the final third. 2 out of 11 accurate crosses. What the fuck? 2 out of... Phil Foden actually had 2 out of 11 crosses make their target. Wow. That is piss poor. That is so bad. That is so bad. What about Saka? What happened here? 1 shot total, 1 chance created, 4 out of 8 dribbles, 43 out of 48 passes. Again, but this accurate passes, like you're going backwards 10 yards or sideways 10 yards, like it's really anything. 1 long ball, 1 tackle, 1. Ground duels, obviously, it's not going to be there. You got half of those. Good luck asking Saka to jump for a header, man. Like, come on, bro. It's like my height. Like, just chill. 6 touches in the ops box. 81 touches. Yes, so, average. So, I don't know if they did anything really. Were they that great?
My take on the game. Garbage.
Yo, you're harsh. These guys just won a round of 16. I know it wasn't the best. I know it wasn't the best game. But I know it wasn't the best game. But let's.
This is where defense lawyer Egal comes into it, and Brandon straight away shaking like, you guys are harsh that just won the game. But even my comment here, I put a comment down here. I said the point is this should have never gotten to a clutch moment at the death. This isn't a top 5 footballing nation they were against, which is why I'm doing this video. I'm also to verbalize that and vocalize it, because again, they're not playing. It wasn't like they were playing Germany. They weren't playing Spain. If they get through Switzerland, then they might have to end up playing one of the big boys, Germany versus Spain. I mean, it could be France, or I doubt Belgium are going to get through. I don't know how they're going to rank it, but whoever they have to play, I haven't actually looked at the final stages on who plays where and all that sort of stuff. I just don't really care at the moment because it's not important. But if you look at the knockout, so it wouldn't be Spain or Germany. It would be. Yeah, could be Netherlands, could be Turkey. Damn. Okay, so we could see Germany versus France. We could see Belgium versus Spain. We could see Portugal versus Belgium. We don't know. So yeah, Netherlands, Romania, Austria, or Turkey. That'd be a good game. That one there. That'd be a cracking game. So yeah, there is still games to be played. So yeah, they just won, but they weren't playing against high opposition, so that's, you can be harsh. You definitely can be harsh. Just because you won doesn't mean you clap them and you say, yes, we won, fair enough, all right, don't worry about the rest of the game. It's a continuous pattern. It wasn't one game out of the last 3 or 4 that they've played. This was every single game that they've played has been like this.
Let's be honest. For 93 minutes of that game, Mo, you're 100% right. 100% right. They threw the finally when the 93rd minute hit, They showed that they have the bottle to actually come out with the win. They showed that they actually could do something and try to go forward.
My bad. Let him finish.
They showed that they have the bottle to actually come out with the win. They showed that they actually could do something and try to go forward. But it was a little bit too late. They should have done this earlier in the tournament. The real issue at hand was the lack of balance. And
lack of balance. Everyone's talking about the balance. It's so one-sided. Foden is crap on the left. Saka is not a left wing back. Why would you play him left wing back? Trent is a problem in the midfield. We'll play him at right back. Oh, but there's no cover. Trippier's no better. I mean, Trent's, what, fucking almost a decade younger than him? Was he 25, 26? Come on, bro. You're telling me, 25 even Trent is. Yeah, he's not, what am I talking about? I'm a Liverpool fan. I should know this. That shows how in-depth I am about the players. Trent's not that old, is he? What is he? 25, 24? 25. So he's 9 years younger. Like, bro, as if you're not going to play him over a 34-year-old Kyle Walker. Seriously. But this is the point. This is why I wanted to do this video, because of what Egal said. And again, there's nothing against Egal. It's just my take. Obviously, I'm not there on the panel. I'm just saying this post after the fact. But it just goes to show that you can have clutch moments and this and that. I'm like, bro, it should never have gotten to that clutch moment. This England team is better than clutch moments. If you're Slovakia and then you're 1-0 down and England are peppering you and you just managed to get a break and it was just one moment where you get a lucky throw in or a corner and you happen to just bang one in, that's a clutch moment. That's when you can say, yeah, there was a clutch moment there. But for England, for this England team, I don't think so. I don't see why anyone would say, oh, well done, there was a clutch moment. Jude Bellingham, fantastic, well done. Bro, he's meant to be Ballon d'Or Jude. Yeah, he's meant to be the best midfielder in the world or whatever they're putting as the label towards him. So why is he coming up with a great goal? Again, as I said, great finish. That's a lot of skill involved to sit there and quickly turn around, see the ball turn, adjust yourself and do the overhead kick and all that sort of stuff. But why did it come in the 94th minute when it's literally, a minute and a half away from being knocked out of another tournament after being very, very, very piss poor and underwhelming? Why was it going to be that fact again, where this England team would have failed under Gareth Southgate again, of course, after making semis and finals and things like that. So it's just, there is no clutch moments. I mean, Alex has even fallen asleep. Look at Alex in the bottom left corner here. He's crashed out. He's like, I'm having a snooze here. Anyways, let's keep listening.
When he finally took out Phil Foden and he finally made the ballsy decision, you can't have both Foden and Jude on the pitch. I've been saying this. I'm pretty sure you guys have been saying this. You cannot have both of them on the pitch. They occupy the same area and it messes up the whole balance of the team. If you want balance, take one of them out. The moment he takes out Jude Bellingham, the moment he takes out Foden and Jude Bellingham has more space and freedom, of course you're going to see a better team. Luckily, it was set pieces that they scored from. But the guy that they subbed on, I'm going to give him credit for Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney came on. He had a direct impact in the second goal. And him coming on in the first goal, if you actually watch it, he spaces out. He gives the space because people have another person in the box to worry about. Your set pieces, England set pieces, have been poor until this moment. Majority of the set pieces have been poor. With Harry Maguire not there, you didn't really have any major set piece threat. Ivan Toney came on. He gave them another person to worry about. And that's why a defender was hanging on him. And Jude Bellingham had all that space to do what he did. And these are things and moments that win you tournaments. Guess what? It was the ugliest game you could watch up until the 93rd minute. And all you guys deserve to be ranting and raving and talking about how Southgate and all these players were not good enough, 100%. But when you need clutch moments and you need individuals to step up, England has not been able to do that in the past. And you did this today. So as much as you want to criticize and bash people, look at your team and say, you know what? These people can actually do something for me when the moment's on the line, when the game is on the line. I didn't see anybody's heads drop. They continue to fight. When you're asking for somebody to show something, they finally showed it. And Jude Bellingham, the player of the year in La Liga, you got Harry Kane, one of the best strikers in the world, and they haven't looked good. Why? Because of balance. And finally, late in the game,
Sorry. Kane and Bellingham haven't looked good because of the balance. Is the balance that's telling Kane to not be in the box when crosses come in? Is the balance telling him to drop deep and try and instigate the play and make things happen when there's already a clusterfuck in the midfield already? When the crosses go into the box and there's no Kane, what are they supposed to do? Come on, bro. That is not the balance. That's not the balance. You can argue left wing and right wing and plays in the midfield, Bellingham, Foden, Palmer, this and that in between. Cool. But for Kane, there's no reason why he should be dropping deep. It's not like he's not receiving the ball. It's you've got all the ball and nothing is happening, and he's trying to play like he's playing for Bayern Munich or Tottenham of yesteryear.
You get an opportunity, they can score. I know it has nothing to do with it because it's a set piece, but really and truly, going forward, I do think you need to make sure that you don't have Foden and Bellingham playing the same pitch.
Absolute rubbish. Never heard something in my life.
This is where Brandon comes into it. Brandon is going to counter everything he says. He's like, yeah, no.
I forget. Honest to God.
Explain.
Honest to God. Right, let's start with my praise for England. Well done. You won the game. Yeah, you did exactly what you were supposed to do against Slovakia, right?
Correct.
However, for 95 minutes, right, and this result does not change how I feel about it whatsoever. I don't let Arsenal get away with it. I don't let Mikel Arteta get away with it when Arsenal scrape by a result. So I'm not going to allow England and Southgate to get away with it either. For 95 whole minutes, every single one of them players, barring Kobe Mainu, played like absolute clowns. Yeah, they did not deserve to be there, right? Bukayo Saka started really well, then he faded, right? And you're right about the balance. The balance is all off. Like Gareth Southgate, I thought Mikel Arteta was quite arrogant, but Gareth Southgate is seriously arrogant. You know, the fact that he didn't even think about changing it at half time and come out with the same players. You know, give it, I would say, 10 minutes too long before he did even think about making a substitution. And then, you know, we're leaving it late in the game. Okay, Jude Bellingham, clutch moment. What else did he do? What else did he do? Yeah? I don't care about all these clutch moments and all this rubbish. What did you do for 95 minutes? What have you done in the entire tournament?
He kept you in the tournament.
Decent. Yeah? Since then, he's been shocking. Harry Kane, non-existent. Right? Just because he comes up with 1 or 2 goals does not give him a pass. At the end of the day, right, Ivan Toney showed more in 35 minutes than what Harry Kane has all tournament, barring the goals. Right? Now, in terms of the balance,
it's funny where he says, like, what did he do? And then Egal says, like, he won you the game. Yeah, he won you the game. But think of it like an employee who's a slob, bad hygiene, always late, never applies himself like the way they can because we know that they can be better, but they just don't. And then you always think like he's going to get the sack, he's going to get fired, and then he comes up with the masterpiece and has like a blinding day and makes a whole bunch of sales at the end of the month, and he keeps his job again. It's like, that's all good and well, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like, do you tolerate that? Do you say, well, okay, you get results at the end of the day, come the end of the month or whatever it is, but for the other 20 odd working days in the month or whatever it is, you're not really doing much, so why should I keep you around just for these one moments? Like, it's not just one-off moments. It has to be a continuous thing. And if you're going to bring someone on to be clutch, have them be a substitute. Have them be a substitute. Have a clutch player be a substitute, like Divock Origi was for Liverpool, for example. Or like, what's the other player? Bloody hell. Bale, he would come on as a sub for Real Madrid and score blinding goals if he wasn't going to be starting for him. So I know he did that to us in the Champions League, which sucks. I think he got brought on as a sub in that game. I can't remember for sure. But for some reason, I just think Gareth Bale clutch moments. I mean, I don't know why. I may be getting that wrong. But, hopefully you get what I'm trying to say. Like, just because they do good at the end of it doesn't forgive everything that leads up to it. Like, again, your girlfriend is a little bit suspect and everything else in between, or you're a girl and your boyfriend's a little bit suspect and you're sick of him and he doesn't treat you how he should and he's not really doing things for you, but at the end of the day they're still going to come home and give you a piping or whatever it is, right? It's like, do you still want to be with that type of person? It's a bad analogy, but I'm just trying to bring some relevance to what I'm trying to convey here, which I think hopefully I get what Brandon's trying to say at least.
Balance. I explained this on your channel again, right? And I don't know if people agree with me. I spoke to Mo as well, right? But I want to put this out there. It's quite simple to balance this England team. Everybody was going absolutely mental at Ian Wright for suggesting that Bukayo Saka should play left back, right? Bukayo Saka played left back for a period of this game today. Not saying he was fantastic, because he weren't, right? But it's as simple as go to a back three. Yeah, England played a back three all the way until the final against Italy in the last Euros. So we can play a back three. Southgate's done it before. Play a back three of Walker, Stones, and Guy. Guy's out for the next game, obviously, so it'll have to be somebody else. Play Saka as a left wing back. Play Trent as a right wing back. Declan Rice in front of the back three. Yeah, Bellingham or Foden with Kobe Mainu, with Harry Kane and Watkins up front. What does that offer? You get width on both sides because Saka is naturally left-footed. Trent can do what he does for Liverpool. Declan Rice can fill in and make a back four when England have the ball, which we should have the majority of the ball anyway. You've got Kobe Mainoo who can retain the ball and spray passes. You've got Jude Bellingham who can make late runs in the box like he does for Real Madrid. Harry Kane can drop deep like he likes to do. And you've got Ollie Watkins that runs beyond him. Right? It's not that difficult. You want to balance this team? There you go. There's your balance for this team. But Southgate is so arrogant.
I mean, I'm not a tactical. I've always said it. I don't claim to know or be like, oh yeah, he's 100% right. But it's sort of like, it makes sense, as he's saying. It makes sense. For some reason, Southgate just does not want to do that. We'll finish this up and then I think that'll be the video. It's already gone on for too long for my liking. But in any case, hopefully you're enjoying it. If you are, like the video and drop some comments. Yeah, thank you.
Stuck in his ways that he will continue to do the same thing regardless of the result today. Because he'll look at it and go, yeah, all right, we was lucky. And I guarantee you, Phil Foden starts on the left-hand side again in the next game.
That's a waste.
I guarantee nothing will change with this guy.
Foden's
Just
a waste.
sack him right now. Yeah? If England want any chance of winning this competition, and believe me, we have a very good chance. Look at the teams that we're going to be drawn up against up until the final. Sack Gareth Southgate now. Phone up Harry Redknapp. Say, come on, come get yourself in.
Redknapp?
Yeah? How can he have these tools available to him? Phil Foden, Premier League Player of the Season. Jude Bellingham, La Liga Player of the Season. Harry Kane, one of the best strikers of this generation. Yeah, we can keep going and going and going and going, and we can play that.
He's got a right back in Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's got midfield, obviously with Rice being Player of the Season for Arsenal. He's got Saka, one of the wingers, obviously can play left wing. He's got Foden, who can play central as well. Palmer, who can play on the right side. I mean, there are players in this squad. I mean, there are players in this squad. I mean, just get back up from Trent here. But if you check it out here, the only thing I'm a suspect always is Pickford. Like, I fucking don't like Pickford. Not because he's an Evertonian. I just don't like Jordan Pickford. But why is Trippier there? You could not have put another left back there instead of Kieran Trippier. Foden on the left, wasted. Bellingham needs to be, doing runs or whatever. Someone else up front here. Have someone next to him. Mane's doing his thing. Stones, yeah, cool, whatever. Then you got Palmer, Eze, Ivan Toney, one of, standout strikers of the season. Konza, solid defender. Gallagher, okay, he runs around a lot, fair enough. You got goalkeepers in Ramsdale and Henderson. There's Gomez, Lewis Dunk. You've got Luke Shaw, who's injured as a left back. If he was fit, you may be playing him there. Trent with the number 8 is weird for a right back. Wharton, you got Anthony Gordon, who can be a left winger as well, but doesn't get put on there. One of the standout players for the season for Newcastle. Jared Bowen, again, scoring goals, regularly for West Ham. And Ollie Watkins, one of the, strikers of the season as well for the amount of goals he scored. So why is Mr. Southgate not doing any of these things? And I might leave it there. I know there's a little bit left. Do I want to? Yeah, okay, there's one more minute. Let's just finish this.
Poorly. And then on top of that, right? We go 2-1 up, and what does Gareth Southgate do again? Oh, let's drop deep. Let's throw on Gallagher. Let's do all this rubbish again. And it was almost to a point where England were dropping so deep towards the end of that game that we nearly conceded again.
Mm-hmm.
He don't learn from his mistakes. And that's just the reality of it. So I've had enough.
Isn't it a good thing, though, that you win even though you play ugly?
No, because when we come up against...
it is a tournament.
That's always been, lucky I didn't stop it. That's always been a conflicting thought for me. It's like winning ugly, but you're still winning. It's like, if I know we're not the best, but we're playing a certain way where if we win, you say, okay, you know what, fair enough, that was deserved, fairs. But not the way England have been playing, not the way England have been moving. No chance do I look at this England team today and think, yeah, they deserve that win. I look at that and say they got lucky as fuck. If they scored within the 90 minutes before injury time kicked on, if they equalised in the 40th minute or 60th or 75th or whatever it is, hell, even the 80th minute, you would say, okay, you know what, there's still something in there. And they maybe would have won it in regular time, not having to need to go to extra time, right? But playing ugly and winning, it depends. If you're a crap team and you play ugly but you still win, then you can say, yeah, you know what, we're not the best, we didn't play great, but we still won the game. If you're a great team and you play ugly and you still win, people say, well, that's just expected because they're a good team. But if you're a good team, you should be playing well. There should be no play ugly and win. If you are a good team, yes, there are moments where probably you won't be as flash or as slick as you are or can be, but you should never fall to levels where people look in and say, you guys should have lost that game. How the hell did you managed to scrape through.
Like, this is not club football.
Yeah,
Let me. Can I say something? Like my microphone is working fine because I've changed the cable and everything. Okay,
Here's
good.
Alex.
Let's also look at the way they're playing right now, right? The Swiss look like a deep side. They can control the ball, all the rest of it, right? England do this whole sitting back, rubbish and all that. None of our players, none of them look like their true selves. Yeah, Bukayo Saka doesn't look like the Arsenal Bukayo Saka. Harry Kane doesn't look like the Bayern Munich. None of these players look like their true selves. We're scraping by Slovakia. Yeah, we're scraping by Serbia.
I'm sorry. What's your name, man? What's your name?
That's the video. There's the video. I watched the whole damn thing. I didn't intend to. So my bad, Terry, if you do see this. All used for, in all fairness, for criticism and critique and commentary, as you saw. And so there you have it. Yes, they're not the same players that they are for their clubs because they're not playing for their clubs, and it's a whole different setup altogether. Obviously, you're not going to get the Bukayo Saka who's bombing down the wings for England that you would at Arsenal. You're not going to get Trent doing crossfield passes for England as he would at Liverpool because it's not the style of play. Foden on the left wing doesn't have the system in place from Guardiola at City that allows him for it. Palmer on that right wing when he comes on doesn't do what he normally does because players aren't making the same runs for him, or they're not, changing positions, allowing him to float into the middle and spray passes and whatever the hell else it is. Rice playing a different role. Bellingham, different role as well. The defenders, well, they're defending. Pickford is, T-Rex small arms. That's just how it goes. Long video, much longer than what I anticipated, but this will cover me for the next couple of days until we see something else kicking off. But there you have it. Luis Diaz / Anthony Gordon transfer rumors or news, if you will. A little bit on Bellingham and the England's reaction on the football terrace. So there you have it. Thank you very much for watching. I know this has been a long video. If you stuck around all the way through, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Like would be appreciated, and comments, of course, if you have anything to add. But by all means, I hope you enjoyed it. I need a glass of water now. Bye.
End the stream, Dave! End the stream! End it, blood! End it now!